So.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Cloister of the Dice. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me, I have one, two, three of my good brothers here. Oh, good brothers and sisters. We have the man constantly arguing with himself, good brother Hydra. Hydra, are you alive?
Yeah, just a moment. I had a bit of an moment with the mic.
We have our producer and resident coffee addict, good sister Kay.
Who has not had any fucking coffee this morning, so let's not start.
Well, I'd send some, but nobody trusts me with it.
You see, that's... Okay, so... I haven't done anything to piss you off, so you'd probably send me proper coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even when I send something normally, people get paranoid. Can't imagine why. And of course, our guest GM, who's decided to venture back into the hallowed halls of this monastery. Good brother Andy.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming back and braving time zone hell, especially since I think over in the UK we're smack dab in the middle of con season.
Yeah, it's all the end of the year cons going on at the minute, like MCM and Dragon Meet and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know a bunch of folk who are at Dragon Meet at the moment. I know that there's some of my associates were at the con in Birmingham earlier in the year, but
I was at that one earlier in the year.
I have heard things about Birmingham. Some people I know in the UK don't particularly like that place.
You don't really see much of the city when you're at the con. You spend most of the time in the outskirts.
Fair. But we are back once again with a fair bit of console RPG style action with our dice rolls. Not that I know a thing or two about that or anything. So, as I often open these things up with, Andy, tell us a story.
Well, jumping right into the adventure. The three of you have been travelling companions for a while. Your journey has recently placed you on an airship heading to the floating island of Cedarheart. It's a fairly small island. It lies on the outskirts of multiple sky realms, but remains neutral amongst them. The island gets its name from the fact that the middle of the island is a large cedarwood forest that seems to dip into the ground as if there's a crater in the centre of the island. It's usually just a stopping point, a place for people to pick up rations and other supplies for greater journeys elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But for the three of you, it might be a good place to rest. And maybe pick up a few easy jobs or two to earn some wings. But you won't find out until you actually get off the ship and get to the town job board, which is usually in the town square.
Mm-hmm.
The airship that you're on starts to slowly descend. and gently glide into the dock, where you can see from over the edge of the ship that the docks of Cedar Heart are not too busy, but you didn't expect them to be since it is a small island. But you can see people pushing carts, loading other smaller airships that are currently in dock here, and the brightly coloured roofs that make up the buildings that form the town, the one and only town that's found on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly the ship goes still, the engines are cut, and you can hear a clunking noise as the airship connects to the dock. And then one of the crew members calls out, "Disembark! All passengers disembark for Cedar Heart."
So, as we get off, how I know you said it's not a very large town, but are we talking village, or are we talking small trading post kind of size?
Small trading post, so a small town, but definitely larger than a village. Large enough to have a few ports for multiple ships to dock into.
And that would make sense. And if one wanted to find work to earn a few wings, which basically is currency. Is there a place that would have postings for like odd jobs or something like that?
Yeah, in the town square, in most towns throughout the skies, there's usually a job board for, and they can range from minor things like people needing help around a town or village to much larger proclamations from higher authorities for grander adventures.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of heading to that square to see if there's anything that would fit our particular set of skills, as it were.
Yeah, sure.
As for me,
Sounds
I'm gonna go ahead and literally stretch my wings a little bit. Being cooked up in the airship today, I could use a little bit of gliding and exercise.
And
Sounds good.
I am going to get Bon Bon out into a clear space. That way she can run around for a little bit after being cooped up as well.
Then yeah, Bon Bon is very happy to be off the ship. Stretches her wings, she follows Celesta gliding around the dock for a little bit before coming back to you, and then as a group you can make your way to the town square. The town square in Cedar Heart is based around a fountain. There's market stalls selling different foods and small trinkets and other bits and pieces. And just outside one of the larger buildings of the town, you can see the job board, which only has a single posting on it from what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
As you approach, you can take a closer look at the job posting. It is written quite messily, and it seems to be from the town's herbalist, someone called Mura.
Mhm.
The posting is requesting any individuals with experience in dealing with monsters to please come to her shop. Recently, the monsters within the forest have been acting even more aggressively than usual, and she is looking for some extra hands to go with her so she can gather some medicinal herbs for the townspeople here in Cedar Heart.
So, question regarding monsters, and feel free to tell me if this is something I wouldn't know. When it comes to the monster problem nearby villages, is it common for people to have some sort of escort when they're going into these areas?
In the wilder parts of the world, most merchants and stuff would probably travel with a caravan guard. She's specifically noted that the monsters are more aggressive than usual, which kind of implies that she normally goes on her own.
Mm-hmm. Which, going on your own into a monster-infested forest, even if the monsters aren't that aggressive normally, that's still quite a risk. And when it comes to the writing, on this particular thing, does it look hurried? Does it look like it was a rush job or something like that?
It's more like the style of handwriting you'd maybe expect from a doctor.
Do I need to pass a language check in order to read it then?
Yeah, you can pick out the keywords.
Yep, definitely an herbalist. But
The town itself isn't overly large, as we've established, so finding the herbalist off the town square isn't too much of an issue.
mm-hmm. Well, I do think I'm gonna go to Bailey and Callista and just point out I got ourselves some work.
What kind of job?
Looks like help with the local monsters. So
So it's right up our alley. Come in.
Hold on. Bailey, Bon, get back here! Hurry up! So just a quick escort mission into the forest then?
that's what it sounded like from what I could read. He shows the note, but this was clearly written by an herbalist.
Good gravy. This is an herbalist handwriting? I thought I was looking at ancient runes.
I can't even read half of this.
I was able to pick out what I needed, chalk it up to experience.
You're a better man than I.
You get no complaints from me. Let's go ahead and meet to who our client is.
So you did say the herbalist wouldn't be too far from the square. I'm guessing this wouldn't be something where I'd have to do some deep investigating to find this one herbalist.
Definitely not, no. There probably only is the one in the town. You go maybe a street or two over from the main square, you can see the sign hanging outside the door front. The building itself is overgrown a little bit by moss and ivy. And you can see a few people watching you from nearby other small businesses and homes. adventurers probably common enough here, but they're probably still exciting enough that most of the townsfolk like to get a good look in at anybody passing through.
And I'd imagine that it's not uncommon for them to see adventurers, but it is still, seeing people from out of town. That's always draw attention.
Yeah.
And let's be frank, today, I'm not even exactly subtle when it comes into my color schemes either.
With that bright plumage going on.
Would the sight of a Crestbill trainer be common around here either?
You've not noticed any other crestbills.
All right. How would the
one.
children be reacting to seeing to seeing Bon Bon?
They're a little bit confused. They can see Cloister the Chorus, who's a humanoid bird person. They look a little bit shocked. The fact that you're walking around with this dog-sized bird by your side that seems to just be happily following you along without a lead or reins or anything like that.
That's because she's well trained.
Bon Bon is a good girl.
Yes, she is. Oh, my sweet baby girl.
Quack!
And he just looks at both of them, going, "Yep, this is where I need to be."
Yeah, for all the
You're the
jumbled
one that
mess
signed up
the-
for it, not us.
The handwriting on the sign for the herbalist is as the same, shall we say, scribbles as the job posting.
Mm-hmm. You see his throat expand a bit before he exhales. A common thing he does whenever he is trying to process what he's gotten himself into.
I just walk in as if nothing is happening.
He stops you and goes, At least knock on the door first. We're not savages. Knock, knock. He has to use the beads in order to make a knock because, well, webbed hands.
Yeah. Knock on the door. You wait a while. There doesn't seem to be an answer. If you lean in towards the door, you can hear some commotion going on inside the shop. Things being thrown around, clattering to the floor.
Someone's either
Sounds
in a
like someone's
panic
making a mess. Yeah.
Someone's either in a panic or looking for something or both. So be on standby. He says he slowly opens the door, just in case something flies out.
You gently push the door open. A bell jingles above you. As you kind of glance up towards the bell, you can see that the door frame has 2 score marks in the wood along the top, as if 2 very sharp things have scraped across it. And then you can see a figure behind the counter in the herbalist shop, hunched over, looking for something, quietly muttering to themselves. And you can see that this individual has a massive pair of bull horns coming at the side of their head.
Bailey is going to preemptively notch an arrow
Hello? Anyone home?
The figure stops what it's doing, turns around, comes a bit closer where the light coming in through the door can more clearly define them. They're about 7.5 foot tall, 8 once you add in the horns.
Mhm.
They're an Ushihito, which are humanoid, but they have some cow-like features like the horns, ears, and tail. And she sort of stares down at the three of you. Oh, customers?
That all depends. We saw the job posting.
Adventurers? Come in.
I exchange
Put up
a
in the
quick
house.
glance with Ribbert, like, are we sure this is the client?
We play along.
You see my job listing? I'm looking for adventurers to head into the woods with me.
What is it do you need in the forest? Did you need to hire us? And what did you expect to we do run across in the forest?
There's a number of herbs that grow in the forest I need for some customers. If they don't get them, they'll get really sick. As for what to expect, the worst that we'll probably come across is some thespids, but in a swarm they can be quite nasty.
I start looking around the shop just to get a gauge on things.
You can see that there are a few plants and stuff in boxes and shelves growing. Behind the counter you can see a number of different scales, glass vials, bottles.
Is anything broken or ransacked?
Not broken or ransacked. There's a few empty containers and stuff that she's clearly thrown out from behind the counter while she's been looking for whatever it is that she's been looking for.
Did you need
Hope
help
this is-
finding something first before we left?
Two things. I need to find my satchel and my cloak.
Sounds simple enough. Where's the last place you had them?
She screws up her face a little bit. The last time I went into the forest, I think, was the last time I remember having them, which was 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now.
Is it possible you might have accidentally left them behind?
Maybe I am forgetful, so maybe. Can you all give me a perception test?
All right.
Perception isn't listed on your skills, then it is a 9 plus luck test. So you roll a single d8, and you add your mind and luck ranks to that roll.
Alright,
All right.
so simple
I have it at
D8.
rank 2, so it's gonna be mind and luck plus 1.
Yep.
So that's plus 4 total.
Yep.
And 11 is what I got. I just realized I forgot to turn on 3D dice.
You're missing the space between the.
Yeah, I just realized that. What the hell? Oh god.
Oh, the slash before they are as well. Sorry.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
I got a 12.
Can you roll another d8 for me?
Just a single D8?
Yep, just a single d8. Yeah, so you've got 19 in total. Okay. Then Ribbert and Bailey, you both notice that the bright red cloak is hanging up behind the door. How she missed it, you don't know. But Bailey, you also notice that there is a leather strap sticking out from beneath a pile of bottles, boxes, tubs, and stuff that she's clearly thrown out from behind the counter. And it kind of looks like the bag was maybe the first thing that she threw out from behind the counter.
At which point you see Ribbert expanding his throat before exhaling. Yep. Everything tracks. He more has that reaction because apparently she was shuffling all over the place finding a code, and it's just exactly where it's supposed to be.
I'm still thinking that she's not supposed to be there. That's not our herbalist. I'm saying this out of character, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not to mention this. No, I'm not going to say it. Let's move on.
Just a quick question, sweetie. What color was the cloak?
The friend that gifted it to me said it was red, but I have some trouble seeing red. It looks grey to me.
Colorblind, huh?
Yeah.
Is that full color blindness or just specific colors?
Red is the main one.
Sounds like red-green color blindness.
Wait a minute. If the herbalist is colorblind, how do they know what herbs it is? And I'm saying this again out of character.
Smell. Taste. Pictures in a book.
I exchange another glance with Ribbert and Celesta. I'm not feeling entirely comfortable here.
Yeah, I look at the Bailey, and you could definitely see a small glint of suspicion in my eyes.
What was your name again, sweetie? I don't think we were able to read it off the... I wasn't able to read your handwriting too well.
Mura.
I look over at Ribbert and I silently ask, is that the name that's on the,
I will look at it. What I need to roll to see if I can make out the name.
No, you can make out the name. It's probably the clearest part of the letter to actually read.
Does the name match?
Yes.
all right.
I just give a nod.
Okay, Let's see. I'm trying to think here. I'm looking at my skills real quick. I don't don't really have much in the way of mind skills. But I've got a whole bunch of red flags going off here.
You mentioned in the job posting about increased activity. Can you explain what you meant by that?
The last time I went into the woods, there seemed to be more monsters like shromos, and the flappets in the woods seemed more aggravated, and lots more thespids. It's as if something disturbed their nest deeper in the woods.
Alright, I'm going to take a closer look at the cloak. Does it look like it would fit her?
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Okay. Alright. So
at this point, I'd like to pull Bailey and Sol aside. Would you mind going through a huddle for 1 second? Excuse us. I need to speak with my companions for a moment.
Gives a nod and a head tilt.
I lean in close.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is going on here.
Tell me, you'd figure the increased monsters would have drawn the attention of everyone in town.
I get that. I understand that. However, at this time, if we look too inquisitive, that is going to create problems. Let's play along for now. And if a trap ends up being sprung, we will deal with it as we always do. But better to do that in the wilderness where there's room to move for some of us, rather than wrecking an herbalist shop and cause problems.
Well, here's the thing,
Got it?
Robert. I'm starting to wonder if she's having some memory issues.
If that's the case, then the best thing to do is to play along.
Alright, well, you get the cloak, it's right there. I saw where the bag is. Alright, Laura!
And Bailey walks over to the crates, plucks out the leather satchel.
Found your satchel, and your cloak's hanging up right there by the door.
Gives like the widest grin. Thank you. I don't know. I keep being told I'm a little bit forgetful, short-sighted, annoying.
No, come on. I'm sure you're quite good at your job.
Herbs is the only thing I'm good at remembering.
And Bailey thinks to herself, the absent-minded professor type. Got it. Bailey hands Mora the satchel.
Well, I'm ready. Bonbon and I are ready to go when you are.
Bonbon?
My Crestbill, she's outside right now. She's being such a good girl and she's just sitting and waiting.
We don't get many Crestbills through here. She looks genuinely excited about the idea of seeing a Crestbill.
Oh, she's a little sweetheart. You're gonna love her.
Well, she slings the satchel over her shoulder, takes the cloak from Robert. I'll lead the way. And with that, she pulls the door open, goes to step out. You see her scrape her horns across the top of the door frame.
Let me guess, right where the two notches are.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
And then outside into the sunlight, where, like, she immediately moos with excitement once she sees Bon Bon.
I
Yep,
imagine Bon
definitely.
Bon jumps up, excited to meet someone new. Bon Bon, Bon Bon, down. Be a good girl.
Mura ruffles the feathers a little bit.
That's a good girl.
So just as we step outside, can I like go ahead and take like a giant leap into the air and try to get like an aerial view of the surrounding area? Yeah.
Yeah, you can give me a leap test.
Hey, what now?
Leap.
All right, just a moment. Just a moment.
Oh,
Ouch.
Oh, come on.
Ouch.
that's a epic fail. You go to leap a little bit prematurely. You've not quite cleared the awning of the roof, and the rest of the party, including Mura, hear a hard thunk as Celesta leaps up that little bit too early and whacks their head against the awning of the shop.
Damn it, why is it that you people always have to build the stuff over their heads?
To keep the rain off.
Bailey is struggling not to laugh hysterically.
Don't. Do not laugh. You can stay down until after we're drunk.
Sorry, Celesta. I'm sorry.
If you really are sorry, the first round is on you.
You're the one that would have bonked her head.
Yeah, whatever. Nah, fuck.
Everett looks right at Saul and goes, "Don't make me drag you by the feathers."
Fine.
Spoken with an air of somebody who has had to discipline people in temples more times than he's willing to admit.
He's a harsh sensei. Muro come over, like fuss over you, should double check that you've not hurt yourself, check your eyes, make sure you're not concussed. Just a little bump. You'll be fine. If you experience any nausea, I have some herbs in my satchel that will help.
Nah, I'm good for now.
That will start leading you out of the town. The road out of town sort of gently slopes downwards. The island itself, beyond the forest, is mostly low rolling hills where you can see that there's livestock being kept, there's fields being grown. It seems that the two main things here in Cedar Heart are the wood from the forest itself and farming. Mura will occasionally sort of glance back at the three of you. Uh, is there anything that I can maybe answer while we're walking?
I know you mentioned some of the monsters that have gotten a bit more active. Are they normally fairly docile, or is it just a case of stay out of their territory and you're fine?
Flappets are usually docile unless they're cornered. Shrooms, some of the bigger ones can be a little bit aggressive, but generally as long as you don't try and pick them up. Thespids are nasty tempered bugs that they probably like to pester the other monsters just as much as they do passers-by.
I see. And are there any other hazards to keep an eye out for? Especially things like natural hazards, not monsters per se, just fauna to steer clear of.
No dangerous fauna, but the forest here is old. It overgrows ruins that are within the forest, and sometimes moss and grass grows over pretty sheer pits, and they can cause some fall hazards.
Alright.
Bailey keeps a hand on Bonbon's flank to keep her from dashing ahead.
Okay, here's a question. Have any other adventurers come in the last month or so to go through the forest?
And is it possible they could have stirred something?
Mura sort of thinks to herself, scratches her head a little bit. Before the last time I went out looking for herbs, an airship passed. It seemed to be landing on the other side of the island, but there's no town or port over there.
And approximately how long ago was that? Because you mentioned that it's been about 3 weeks since you noticed the uptick in activity.
Maybe a day or two before the last time I went out. You think the airship maybe spooked the monsters?
If that airship landed on the other side of the island, it's possible they could have disturbed something that is rippling outward.
And why even dock at the other side rather than the one in town?
Because they don't want attention.
Exactly.
Did you see the airship for yourself, or did you only hear it?
I seen it. Not close though. It was big. Not the same as the ships that normally come in. Bulkier.
Alright, here's a question for you. This is out of character to the GM. Is it possible that it could be a military operation or bandits?
Military is possible.
I feel like that'd be way too well armed for bandits.
Yeah, in character it'd be hard for you guys to tell without anybody having Magitech knowledge.
Nope.
Let me double check. I don't think I do. Nope.
Yeah, no, it's only really the engineer that has Magitech. Academics can double if it in a pinch, but
Yeah, I don't even have
Um,
that.
I don't know if any of you have academics either. Maybe Robert?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, you're not the most mind-orientated party. All about that strength and agility. But yeah, it could be, but it'd be hard for you guys to tell just from the description of the airship what it might be, because none of you are really that clued up on Magitech.
Hmm. Well, bollocks.
And we're gonna have to approach her rather carefully. We have no idea what we're getting ourselves into here.
Do you think the people on the ship could be dangerous?
Let's worry about that later on. Right now, I'd say we try to complete your job of getting your herbs before we start asking the questions about what's going on.
Alright.
Wait.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to scout ahead just a smidgen. I will be right within eyeshot.
And Bailey is going to get just a little bit ahead just to see if she can see any like tracks or anything of the uptick in animal activity that Mora mentioned.
You can either give me a perception or a survival test.
I'm gonna do a survival. And that'll be D8 plus vitality and luck.
Yep. You get a +1 for having 2 ranks on there. You'll get an extra +1 for the amount of ranks that you've got in the skill as well.
Alright, so 1d8 plus 1 plus my stats.
Yeah.
Okay. +1 plus 5. 10.
Yeah, you head off ahead of the party into the sort of edges of the forest and start looking for monster tracks. Thespids are insects, so they fly. They're probably hard to track, but you do notice that there are in the mud here that they're like rabbit-like footprints, which would be from flappets. And you can see some of the like underbrush and stuff has been like smooshed down as if something has sort of hopped or bounced over it.
Would I be able to tell what kind of animal did that?
Going off the sort of imprint, it would be a shrimmel.
Okay.
And the tracks sort of crisscross each other. They're definitely scattering outward from deeper within the forest, though. You can tell that much.
So we have a turf war going on around.
Oh, I haven't told you guys what's going on yet. Because I went a little bit ahead, so.
Well, that's no bueno.
Bailey joins the group again.
So, judging by the tracks, they're scattering outward from deeper in the forest. So something definitely has stirred. And I'm not sure we're gonna like it if we get too further in.
I look over
We
at
knew what we signed
Mora.
up for.
I look over at Mora.
How deep do we need to go in for these herbs?
Quite into the heart of the forest, but fairly deep. Some of the herbs that I need to collect are quite rare, and they grow in the low light that is more prevalent in the forest. Deeper
Understood. Okay. Well, give me a basic direction on which way we need to go. I'll scout ahead, and I will warn you guys if I spot anything else.
in. If you head in the way that you came out from, that should take us roughly on the path that I normally follow.
Alright, I'm gonna get about 20 feet ahead so that way they can still see me and still be within earshot enough to hear me if I call out to them. But Bailey is going to be on full tracker hunter mode.
Okay. In that case, give me a perception test first.
Okay.
You can add a +2 bonus to this for your animal senses.
+2. Ouch.
The dice god show no mercy.
Amen.
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 Nope. As you're scouting ahead, keeping just within sight of your companions, you're sniffing around, you're looking around, listening. It's been a while. You and your companions have been on that airship for over a week. All the smells and sights, sounds of being inside somewhere as wild and like ancient as this forest seems to be, starts to overwhelm you a little bit. And it overwhelms Bon.
Alright, Bailey's gonna come to a pause to calm both herself and Bon down.
While Bon is busy squawking and stomping around and tapping trees and things with her beak, you fail to notice the buzzing sound that is getting closer.
Can I go ahead and jump on a branch and try to act as a secondary scout?
Yes. You can give me a perception test as well. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, some of the things that you're aiming to notice are quite easy to spot. As you leap up, you can see that Bailey's trying to calm Bon down. And you can see that the undergrowth just ahead of her is starting to rustle.
Hey, heads up!
And then two bright red mushroom tops burst out of the underbrush, followed by two bright yellow and black thespids. Okay, and we're going to jump into our combat.
Alright.
Alright.
Would you like to do the honors today?
Okay. What time is it?
It's combat time!
You drop the monsters in. Copying. And let's roll for initiative. So all your character sheets will have your total initiative on the front page. So if you roll a d8, add that. If you get an 8, it explodes. So roll it again and just keep adding.
I believe you can add exploding dice to the macro. I think through I think it was an exclamation point.
Yeah, it's an exclamation point. Yeah.
So just add that in when you're writing it out.
Ouch.
Wow, the dice gods really hate you today, Kay.
Wow.
Yeah.
It didn't automatically roll it, so I'm just gonna roll another d8.
I think the exclamation mark needs to be after the d8. I think that's the problem there.
Lesson learned.
Dice gods are indeed fickle.
Okay, so
22.
yep.
22. Okay. On your token, you can.
Hold on. I effectively got to that 17, and that's because I rolled the 8 for my initiative. Yeah, 14 plus 3.
Okay, yeah, the first top roll is your. So yeah, 17, you're both all good. So yeah, if you hover over your tokens, you can see that there's little bubbles. There's the red one which has a 0 in it, the 3 which is the middle one which is green is your hit points, and the blue one is your MP. So Lista, you got 1-8 on your initiative, so you can, in your red bubble, add +1. Ribbert, you got 2-8, so you've got 2 critical levels, so in your red bubble you can add in 2. And this is your overdrive meter starting to build up. And let me roll initiative for these monsters. So the Thespits. Rooms. Okay, so Ribbert, you are first. Combat's fairly straightforward. You have a single action that you can take. And then it moves on to the next person on initiative.
So I can either do my base. I can either do my basic, quote unquote, attack, or one of my or one of my specials. I think for these, I'm going to be now. Quick question: as far as overdrive stacks, what would those be? Used on?
Once they reach maximum, you can spend the full stack to take an additional action during your turn.
All right. Good to know. So 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 next question, when it comes, I know I have multiple attacks for a basic attack. If I happen to take out an enemy, would I lose those? Would I lose those extra attacks, or just move on to somebody else?
You just move on to another separate target.
All right. Good to know. So I'm going to be taking a swing at this particular shroom.
Cool.
Let's see. That would be D8 plus 9, I believe.
Yeah, for your first attack. Yeah.
So is it a case where D8s explode here as well, or is that
Yeah.
only-
D8s always explode.
And I did not write that proper. $13.
Okay. That is a hit.
Right. And is it just straight damage, or
Yeah,
is it
damage is static, so whatever the damage box for your weapon says is how much damage you're going to inflict. You'll do 2 bonus damage because you're in the front row.
Yep. So that's 8 damage to it.
Okay, and these guys have a single point of armor, so that's 7 damage. Okay, that's your first attack.
Yep. Then second verse save is the first for the second attack.
Yep.
12,
Yeah, also a hit.
and that's
Another
5
second.
damage.
Oh, that's 6 damage once the armor comes off. Then you have one last attack.
Yep. $10.
Okay, 10 just hits.
Right, and that's 6 damage after calculating being in front row.
Okay. Okay, so yeah. You unleash a flurry of blows onto the shrimmel. It wobbles a little bit, but it still remains standing. Just to clarify, the reason that the monk can do multiple attacks is because that's the special ability for fist weapons. It is allowing for attacks, but the attack bonus gets reduced each time you make a swing. Okay, so that's your turn. Celista.
So I'm going to attack the same shroom as Rivert.
Okay. It's a basic attack.
That's right.
Cool, that is a hit.
Alright, so that's 12 damage.
You slice through it with your halberd.
Alright, yeah. Can I make other attacks as well, or is that the only one?
That's you. You have one action. The monk can make multiple because of the unarmed, the fist weapon special ability. Okay. Thespids. Okay. This Thespid is going to go for Celista. I'm aiming for your weapon defense.
And it's a pass.
Okay. Just gonna hit you for 7 damage minus your armor.
Oh, alright, so I take 3.
Yeah. That's that Thespid. The Shrimmel. Is going to use its poison spore ability
On Bailey?
on Bailey. Yep.
Alright.
So this is against your spell defense.
That's a whiff.
Okay, so yeah, Shroomel sprays spores towards Bailey, but they kind of drift in the breeze that catches them away from you. And the last remaining Fespid is going to go for Ribbert.
Alright.
And that's for your weapon defense.
Yeah, no, that ain't hitting it.
Okay, you sort of backhand the Fespid away from you so it can't get at you with a slinger. Okay, and Bailey, you're up.
Alright,
Just stay.
I'm gonna
Just
go
back
for.
away with a backhand.
I am going to use Rapid Shot. That's weapon attack times 2. It's gonna cost me 8 MP to do so. But let's see. That's going to be agility plus mind. What the fuck? That's okay, that's 3 ones back to back, guys. What the fuck?
Oh, is this gonna be one of those episodes?
It just might.
On the plus side, you can take a point of overdrive for your critical fail.
Okay. Because I used rapid shot, does that mean I get a second shot?
Yeah, you still get a second shot.
Alright. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm aiming for this Vespid right here.
Okay. That Fespid buzzes away from the arrow that's coming towards it, and it hits the tree behind it instead.
Okay.
Okay. Back to Ribbert.
So we've got we have one Shroomel, and I don't feel like using the big guns just yet. So I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be beating the Shroomel into submission. Remember, folks, season's beatings. So first attack, 15.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Right, and that's 8 raw damage.
Well, let me just double check something for Bailey. Was a little second. Bailey's attack bonus is plus 8 in total. Which means that second shot would have actually hit.
Did I miss something then?
You get bonuses for how skilled you are on the weapon as well as your
Alright,
attribute
because
bonuses.
I used my agility plus my mind bonus when I rolled my d8. So that's a plus 5 there. Where am I missing the other 3 points?
Okay, so you have that's a damage bonus. Your trinket gives you a plus 1 bonus.
Ah.
And you get a plus 2 bonus for Bon Bon.
Ah.
Or no. It's the quality of the bow, sorry. Gives you an extra bonus to your attack. See, a plus 1 from the trinket, plus 1 from the bow, and a plus 1 for fighting alongside Bon Bon.
Ah, okay, I missed that.
So that's Second shot hit 4, and that would have been 8 damage. Okay, and then we'll go back to Mildra. So your first attack is a hit. Which Vespid are you going for, the top or bottom one?
I said I was going for beating the Shroomal into submission.
Sure,
attack.
not Vespid. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a hit.
And that's 8 raw damage.
Okay. Second attack.
10.
Yeah, that's just hit.
Right. And that's 7 raw damage.
Yeah. And final attack. Ooh.
22.
Okay. Okay. So that's another point of overdrive. And okay, so you'd be doing 6 damage here normally.
Yep.
Okay, and you're currently wielding. That's not close. I should double check the PDF for it. That's not close. Strength based damage. Yeah. So what is your strength score and your luck score?
3 and 2.
Okay, so you get to do an additional 5 points of damage. So yeah, you just uppercut this Shroomal into oblivion with the final punch from your combo.
Mhm.
No one left in the front, so the Vespids have to move forward. Solista.
Oh, I'm going to attack the Vespid on top.
Okay.
The 11.
I
that's
thought the
miss.
Vespids were attacking, not Celesta.
No, as Solista. The Vespids just had to move forward because
Oh.
the enemies in that row are gone. So yeah, you swing with your halberd and just miss this Vespid as it buzzes out of the way. It's going to be its turn. It's going to try and stab you with its stinger. Against your weapon defense.
And that's a hit.
Okay. So 7 minus. Oh, it'll be 9 now because it's on the front row. Minus your armor.
Miss. Alright, so -5.
And the second Vespid is going to try and go for Ribbert. Okay. Going to send 17 as a hit on
Oh,
the
yeah.
monk. It's going to be a crit. It's going to be 14 damage minus your armor.
14, so that's going to be 13 damage.
So yeah, this both Vespids hone in on both of you and start jabbing with their stingers pretty aggressively, more aggressively than they probably normally would. Bailey?
Alright. So I'm going to aim for this one here again. And let's see, just double check really quick. Let's see. It's going to be 1d8. So that's a +3 plus my stats, right?
Yeah.
There we go, 14.
That's a hit. And then your damage. You do 8 damage with the bow. Oh. Okay. So yeah, the second shot's a lot. Technically, your third shot with the bow is a lot better placed. You like clip one of the limbs into the side of this Vespid that just stabs Cloister. Ribbert. Oh, Mildred take an extra point of overdrive for being critical hit.
Whoops. Right, I'm halfway there.
Yep. So you gain criticals for every crit that you roll, for every epic fail, or in combat for every crit you roll, every epic fail you get, and every critical hit that you take.
You gain don't you mean overdrive? You said you gain crits for crits.
You gain overdrive. Sorry for all of the taking crits, getting critical fumbles, and being critical with it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Given what we're dealing with, I think now's the time for me to hold a little bit less back. And against the lower Vespid here, I am going to be spending 5 MP chanting a Ice Mandala as I strike with falling ice.
Yeah, just a roll for that standard weapon attack.
Right. And it is only going to be one attack, but...
Just one attack, yep. But it hits pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. So that is a 12 total.
It's a special attack, so it will be against the spell defense, which is 7, so yeah, that's a hit.
So that would be a total of 9 raw damage with 2 armor piercing.
So yeah, you do like hit ice in cases your hand or foot or whatever it is you're striking with, and you slam it into this Vespid. Both Vespids are looking pretty angry. So at least that.
Right, so I'm going to attack the... You know what? I'm actually going to follow up on Ribbit, and I'm going to attack the bottom Vespid.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a hit.
So that's 12 damage.
Okay. Mildred, did you factor in the bonus damage for being in the front row?
I did not. My bad.
So yeah, you hit it with your ice attack, and then Cloister falls through a swing with a halberd. It just like takes the back end of this Vespid off, and it collapses onto the grass. The final Vespid is enraged. It's going to hit that a little bit harder. It's going to keep trying to sting Cloister. especially now that
Ow.
Celesta is covered in Thespid guts. That gets you 2 points of overdrive at least.
All right.
7.
Just to tell me how much damage I have to take.
Okay. 14. 19. 21 minus your armor.
10 minus my armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this
so-
Vespid comes hurling towards you, stinger jutting right out, and it stabs you right through the torso. Bailey,
Alright, 1 second. I'm sorry.
it's the angry boy.
Uh-huh. Sorry, you caught me mid-munch.
Sir.
Alright. Gonna use another, 8 MP to use Rapid Shot again.
Okay.
Oh,
21.
that's definitely.
Okay. Yep. Make your second. This is probably going to kill it. Make the second roll just to see if you can net yourself some more.
13.
Okay, so you get a point of overdrive for the crit. The 2 shots are going to be well more than enough to finish that.
Yay!
Faint music plays on the wind. Somehow feel an uncontrollable urge to dance.
Except- Ribbert is. With how much of the straight man Ribbert has been throughout this whole thing, do you see him dancing?
He just kind of bops up and down in a fighting stance.
Yeah.
Can I at least do mine with some style?
Yeah. Celesta does a flourish with the cape and wings. Okay. Normally we'd do it, but it didn't really matter for this adventure. But you're probably going to get yourself some mushrooms and some insect carapace and all that sort of stuff from the festival.
I don't suppose I could eat some of those Vespid guts. I still am a bird after all.
You won't need to. Mura will come rushing out of whatever tree that she was hiding behind. Given that Celesta is the most badly damaged out of the party, you see her sort of hold both hands over the gaping wound that's in your torso. And she quietly sings to herself, and then a green light sort of glows and heals you for 7 HP.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's what I meant by the Fespids are a little bit more aggressive than normal.
You weren't joking.
There's a whole nest of those things out there.
Probably be more than one. They
Oh,
were
boy.
actually probably hunting the shrooms for food.
I'd rather avoid shaking up a nest if I can help it.
Mm.
Well, Bailey, now that she's got her bearings again, is going to continue scouting ahead. Because I'm pretty sure that this fight sequence helped to cleared the fog from being on the airship for too long.
Yeah.
Alright, question. Do I regain back the magic points I spent?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if you have ether. Yeah, you've got at least one ether on you, which will restore 8 magic points if you want to drink it before you set off to scout.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm actually going to down one of my potions, see if I could recover a bit more of my HP.
Okay. It will give you 8 hit points back.
Alright, so... perception or survival?
This time you're more on the lookout for things that might be coming at you. So perception this time.
Alright, that's mine plus luck. Seven.
Okay. The forest starts to grow more dense the further in that you go. It starts to become a lot more difficult to see too far in front of you. And you can't see anything or hear anything that's likely to cause any problems, at least at this particular moment. If you're continuing to scout ahead, eventually you'll get to the point in the forest where you feel the ground sort of rapidly start to, like, the ground has always sort of been sloping downwards. Because as you've seen from the airship, it looks like there's a crater here that the forest is growing out of, but like the ground here starts to very quickly dip to the point where you and your companions will need to be a lot more careful as to where you step.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that dip, you can also start to make out the ruins of some walls, some overgrown statues, and that sort of thing, sort of all being overgrown by the trees, moss, and other plants that are growing in this forest. And if you can actually give me a survival test, you can glean a little bit more information.
11.
Okay. If you sort of take a moment, maybe standing on top of some of the ruins to get a look out, something about how this forest is growing strikes you as being off. The plants are a little bit too big. The trees are absolutely massive and twisted in really weird ways. And there's, like, despite very little sunlight getting in at this point of the forest, there's plants and stuff here that are growing really well in circumstances that they probably shouldn't be, as far as you're aware from your experience travelling the world in similar locales for your time as an adventurer.
Bailey and Bonbon return back to the party, and she gives them her observations on all of that. I'm starting to wonder if there's some sort of magical device out here.
The forest is a bit too much forest for your liking.
You could say that. It's just, I mean, you'll see it when we get to the point that I was just at, but it's not natural. Especially with how dark it is and how some of these plants are growing.
I tried to look above the trees to see where the sun is at right now.
It's by the time you reached the forest, it was maybe early afternoon. From what you can glimpse through the canopy of trees, the sun is already starting to dip in the sky, but there's still enough of it that sort of pierces through every now and again to create like these cascading beams of light through the canopy up above you.
Still not there. I look at Bailey. I take it that we still got some sunlight there. I take it what you found there that doesn't match what we should be getting at this point.
No. I mean, again, you guys will see it for yourself here in a little bit.
Well, seeing is believing.
So I'm actually going to go ahead and jump in between the branches and try to take a semi-aerial view of the place.
Give me a acrobatics test.
$12.
Okay. Yeah, you start leaping up onto branches to get a better look. You get up to a point where you can also get a little bit more sunlight coming down on you from behind. And now that you're up much higher than your companions can get, can you give me a perception test and take a +2 bonus to it? From the combination of being up high in the trees and the fact that the forest actually slopes down, you can get a fairly good look into what would be the heart of the forest. And you can see that the trees are moving in a way that would indicate that something big is moving around in the heart of this forest.
Hey guys, I can't make out the details, but I think something's over there.
If you can make it out enough from the distance, then it's big enough that we should stay clear of it.
Problem is that's where we need to go. That's where Mora needs to get her herbs from.
Something big? I don't even know what that could be. It might be a big shroomel, but
If that's the case, then we need to make sure we do so quietly.
I ain't gonna complain.
then lead the way. We'll we're going to be reaching the ruins soon, so we're getting close to where I need to be. Or once we hit those, we'll be close to where I need to be.
All right. Actually, I'm going to head back out in front, but I'm going to use stealth in conjunction with my scouting.
Okay.
So let me roll that really quick. 12.
Okay. Yeah, you pull your hood up, you start moving slower, more cautiously, trying to make as little disruption as you can as you sort of pass through the undergrowth, make your way under branches, and sort of gradually ease yourself down the slope that you're heading into. There's a little bit of a drop off where, like, clearly there's a wall that's been overgrown, and then trees and stuff have started to sort of form around whatever was here. Where you land, you feel that this is maybe nearing the bottom of whatever this crater is. And you can see that the plant life here starts to change to being more vibrantly coloured flowers that seem to be thriving here and amongst the ruins. like the flowers themselves seem to grow more like vibrant and um, numerous, where you notice that there seems to be broken elements of statue scattered around.
Definitely not a good idea to get the Force attention.
I look at our VIP. So where's this herb you need?
She points at the vibrant flowers that are growing around the statue.
Figures.
I tend to pick one or two from every patch so I don't overdo it. If you guys, if you could keep an eye open while I do that, that would be really appreciated.
I'm going to see if I can't climb on top of one of these overgrown statues to get a little bit of a vantage point, and I'm going to use perception.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the branches again.
Yep.
Alright. Do I get any bonuses from having a higher vantage, or no?
Both of you can take a +2 bonus to your perception test.
11 for Bailey.
Okay.
You forgot the R there, Hydra. There we go.
Yeah,
there we
yeah. And I got a 10.
Okay. Both of you can't see it, but you can hear the trees rustling and you can feel the ground. Like the branch that Celesta is on and the ruined chunk of marble or sand or whatever kind of stone it is that Bailey is on, you can feel the ground underneath lightly trembling, but the longer you're there, the more that you can feel those vibrations as whatever is causing them is
I
getting
hold my halberd to the close it is, and I effectively put my guard up just in case.
Bailey has an arrow notched and ready.
You like wait, bow ready, Celesta with halberd ready. It gets to the point where even Ribbert, you can feel the ground starting to vibrate underneath you, and even Mura, her tail sort of goes stiff, and she stops plucking flowers for a moment. And then you
How
can
about Bonbon?
hear...
How is the Bonbon handling all this?
Bonbon is stomping her little birdie feet and trying to sort of nudge Bailey away.
Bailey pats her flank. Easy, girl. Easy.
You eventually start to see some of the trees and stuff bend and snap as the two of you start to see this kind of rusty red coloured machine that's shaped like a scorpion. ambering through the
That's
forest,
definitely not
retreating
natural.
towards you.
What the squawk?
Like it crushes rocks underneath its mechanical feet, and you can see a green glow from multiple points in this thing. You could try and ambush it.
How big is the thing? Like as big
Uh,
as a tank?
Yeah, as big as a tank.
Well, I have to refine that question because tanks come in sizes. Is this as big as a main battle tank?
How big is
Well, not to sound too American, but is it as big as a? Actually, I'll do a bit of pandering. Is it as big as a Crusader?
It's maybe about 14, 15 feet.
Yeah, that'd be about the size of an MBT. In that case, it'd probably be a bit bigger since Crusaders are usually 9 feet long. So, yeah, about this. Not to sound too American, but about the size of an Abrams.
All right.
Okay.
Bailey is going to drink her ether potion before battle starts.
Yeah. If you would like, you can all give me stealth tests to try and get the jump on this thing. If you don't have stealth as a skill, it is agility plus luck.
All right. How many would that ether put me at full?
It'll give you 8 more MP.
So 16.
It's going to be agility plus luck for me, so 8.
Of 11 for Bailey on her stealth check.
Yeah.
And I got 13.
Okay. So, both Bailey and Cloister successfully did the stealth test. Okay. Since the majority of the party has successfully stealthed, then this thing is going to be at a penalty for the first round.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make my aim at one of the big glowing dots.
Okay. Let me add the initiative crack. Okay, can you all give me initiative tests once again?
I can.
I got an 8.
The first round.
You.
Well, the dice gods are playing no favorites. Everyone screwed up at some point.
Yep, but I will give myself one more overdrive stack.
Even with a penalty to its initiative, it's still going for 2 out of 3 party members. Okay, Celesta, you're up first.
Alright, so, you know what I'm actually going to... I'm actually going to use my leap ability.
Okay. That a leap attack.
That's right.
Okay, so that'll be 4 MP. And give me a leap test.
Just a moment. Yeah, so 19. I trust I could add myself an overdrive.
Yeah, that's an overdrive point. Also, on the following round, you'll do bonus damage on top of the normal critical damage equal to your leap ranks.
Oh, that's exactly it. I'm only going to come down at the beginning of the next turn.
Okay, so yeah, you leap up off the branch that you were keeping a lookout on into the air, over and above this gargantuan Magitech monstrosity. The Gargant is going to take aim at Ribbert.
Oh boy.
Well, against your weapon defense.
Yes, it does.
It's going to be 10 damage minus your armor.
So 9 damage.
Okay, Bailey.
All right, I am, like I said, I'm going to be aiming for one of the glowing spots along the along its metal carapace. Now I'm looking at the image here of, are there just the 3 points?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to aim for the one closest to the tail to see if I can't knock out the Gatling gun.
Okay. So you have options here. So all the weapons in Skies Above have unique quality to them. We've already kind of discovered what the fist weapon is. You can do multiple attack. The bow allows you to make an aimed shot. So you spend a round aiming, and on the following turn you will get a fortune on your roll, which means you roll 2d8 to take the highest.
I'm going to do that.
Okay, so you spend this round aiming your bow at the smallest of the glowing orbs at the tip of the tail. Okay. River.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I believe the Gargant has its main body and it looks like 2 add-ons.
Yeah.
All right. So that being the case, I think I'm going to aim for one of those add-ons, specifically the lower one, and that's going to be with brass knucks. So let me roll first attack.
Trying to imagine a Frogger wearing the brass knucks, web hands and all.
Just a metal band around the hand.
None of you guys have heard of Iron Ring combat?
I can't say that I have.
Okay, that is a hit.
So that is going to be 8 raw damage.
Okay. Minus the armor. Okay, so you punch this thing. And as you imagine, punching a big metal walking tank is pretty painful, pretty solid. Your fist sort of clangs as you hit it, but you can see some denting going on in the metalwork. Second swing.
Yep.
Okay. Overdrive point. This thing, however, due to your critical fumble, is going to get a free hit on you for 8 damage.
Alright. So that just auto hits.
Yep, auto hit. You've left yourself open with the second swing, and it sort of stomps on you when it gets the opportunity.
Do I get the third hit?
Yeah, you can still make the third attack. That's a miss. So yeah, you hit with the first, it smacks you back, and then you kind of have to maneuver out the way just before it hits you again and flail with the third punch. Okay. Cloister.
Right,
You're
so
coming.
I'm definitely coming down, but
Yeah,
I also
you-
got the Heartseeker passive ability.
Yep, so you're descending, you've got a critical hit. Okay. So, the halberd. What's your damage normally?
It's 10.
10. Okay. It'll be 12 for being in the front row.
So an extra 3 to that because of the ability. Piercing 2.
You've got an extra 3 from the leap attack, so that's 15. You've got an extra 3 from Heartseeker. Is 18.
And that doesn't even factor into crit that I did before.
And you've critted, and halberds are so your strength plus your luck will give you your bonus critical damage.
That would be 5.
Okay, so 23 damage with piercing 2.
Yeah, onto the main body.
Okay, yeah, you like the sun glints behind you, and a clearing in the trees as you like descend onto the back of this thing and like plunge your halberd hit right through the armor plate, and then you sort of flip backwards and land softly on the grass.
Ah!
Now it is going to hit you. Eight. Oof. Against your weapon defense, I'm assuming that's going to hit.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
Okay. So we're going to get an overdrive point because this is a critical. Okay. 14 minus your armor.
Damage.
As soon as you land, it sort of brings one of its mechanical limbs down and crashes on top of you. Bailey?
Alright. So, I've been using, or I spent my first round doing aim shot. Now I'm going to expend 8 MP for a double shot, or for
Okay.
rapid shot. And how would I go about using some of those overdrive points?
You need to wait until you've accumulated a full stack.
Gotcha. Damn.
So
Alright,
you can
so...
make your first attack.
So you said that's going to be 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, I get +2 from Bonbon.
Yes, you'll have +8 to your attack.
+8.
Yeah.
16 for the first one.
Okay, so roll your attack normally just using the 1d8, but do it twice and take the better result.
Alright, so ignoring the first roll, so there's the first. What the fuck?
Okay, it's still a hit. Okay, so you do 8 damage with the bow.
Yes.
Yeah, so first shot kind of hits just a little bit off center of the core that you're trying to strike, but you've got that second shot to go, so same again.
Alright, there's the first. There's the second. We are going with the 15.
Okay. And that's another hit into the core. It's back one there. So both arrows find their mark. You see a ripple of energy sort of explode outwards from the topmost power core, and some of the armor plating on the back of the automaton sort of blows out, exposing a lot more of the underlying machinery. Doesn't get rid of the gun, but it does make the automaton a lot more vulnerable.
Okay.
River?
Well, obviously, Plan A didn't work. Plan A didn't work. And I believe the part that I was attacking before was like the. Sound like it was plating on the legs or something.
Yeah, base sort of like maybe these glowing tubes.
Yeah, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try a different approach this time, and instead of just doing a normal hit, do a hit with a little bit of ice. So I'm spending 5 MP to cast Falling Ice again.
Okay.
Alright, so that is going to be... Yep, so still rolling 9.
Yep, plus 9.
16,
Okay, that's a solid hit.
right? So that is going to be 11 raw damage with AP2.
Okay. You like do an axe kick where your foot is sort of starts to become encased with ice, and you slice through these glowing pipes along the side of the automaton, causing this weird liquid to spew out onto the ground and cause the grass and plants here to rapidly grow.
Well, that answers our question why the place has so much more forest than normal.
Okay. Celista?
Alright, so a question. Does it use an item use on my action?
Yes, it does. There's a few things in game that allow you to negate it. The hunter gets a special ability called Fetch, where their pet can bring them an item to use for free. Or you can buy a bandolier in game, which lets you use one item per round, one consumable per round for free.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Yeah.
So instead, I'm actually just going to use the guard up action.
Okay, and this will bring it into effect. The third weapon special ability. So spears have defensive reach. While you're in guard up, enemies who attack you do so with misfortune. And if they fail to inflict damage on you, you do damage to them as if you'd successfully attacked them. So yeah, you sort of pull back, you bring your spear up, your halberd up into a more defensive stance, sort of holding the Gargant back, and then it's going to come at you. Yeah, so I'm rolling this twice and taking the worst one. Okay, still gonna hit. It's a 13.
It's still a hit.
Okay. Oh, it won't be because you and your guard up. You get a bonus to your defenses.
What is my bonus, really?
Guard up. +4 to your defenses.
Oh, well, if that's the case, neither of them hits anyway.
Yeah. In that case, what's the you do 10 damage with the halberd.
10 damage plus it, yeah.
Yeah,
If it even has a crit, that's what, strength plus luck?
It's not a crit. It'd have to be a dramatic fail for that to be a crit, but you've hit it. So as this thing tries to stomp on you again, you sort of bring your halberd up in an arc and sort of whack the limb back and sort of bend it out of shape with the force of the halberd. Bailey?
Alright. I'm gonna take my shot. And I'm aiming for like this. Actually, no, I'm gonna be aiming for the bigger dot here right at the front.
Yeah, the main corner. Okay.
It's probably already cracked, seeing as I pretty much just punctured it earlier.
Yeah, the top two plates are already falling off. Some of the armor around the sides
13.
is cracked. And yep. Yeah, 13 is a hit.
That's 8.
Okay. So yeah, you start putting arrows into some of the cracks and stuff around the armor and the central core.
Mm-hmm.
Ribbert.
All right. I think I'm going to give a since it was fairly successful last time. I'm going to give another go at performing falling ice.
Okay.
It is very nice that costs 5 MP, so I know how many charges of it I have left. But but with that in mind, let me roll the attack. 14.
Yep, that'll hit. This thing's easy to hit, but it had a lot of armor until we started breaking its extra cores.
It doesn't exactly hurt that falling ice does AP.
Yeah.
Alright, so again, that is 11 raw damage, AP 2.
Okay, so yeah, you notice now that both the smaller cores have been taken out of action and some of the armor's cracked and falling off, that you can get that attack through. And the armor plate that's remaining does very little to blunt any of the force behind it at this point. Okay, Cloister.
You know what? I'm actually going to use. I'm actually going to attack it.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to attack it normally.
Yep. That's the hit.
Alright, I'm also going to spend a free AP for Heartseeker.
Heartseeker's always active. It's a passive ability. It's always active. The MP investment on it is actually a permanent reduction to your maximum MP.
Ah, okay, never mind then.
So you're doing 15 damage while you're in the front row against this thing.
Yeah, so 15 it is.
Okay, so yeah, you plunge the halberd into some of the gaps between the armor and pry them a little bit to do as much damage as possible. Okay, this thing is going to spend some of its own MP. You all notice that the remaining power core in this thing starts to glow.
Uh-oh.
Load-bearing villain, back. Everybody back off.
So, Ribbert and Celesta, that attack is against your spell defense.
And that's a hit.
Yep.
So you're both going to take 10 earth damage. None of you are resistant to earth damage. But it didn't crit, so none of you are slowed. Okay, so yeah, 10 damage minus your armor. It's like this ripple of earth magic pulses out from the orb in the center of this thing. Slams into the two of you, and you can see that the rocks and the grass and flowers and stuff around about you seem to be completely drained of energy as this thing unleashes it. Bailey?
Alright, I'm spending my last 8 magic points to do Rapid Shot again. And I'm aiming straight at that damn core. So, first shot. Ouch.
Take a overdrive point though.
Already did. That was a whiff. Second shot. 13.
Okay, that's a hit.
So 8 damage.
Managed to net another arrow through one of the many cracks that are now in the armor plating around the core. River.
Yep. So, I don't think, given the issue with armor not being as much of a thing, I don't think I'm gonna need to do falling ice a additional time. Since casting Earthen Guard would take my action, I'm not going to do that either. So it's going to be back to basics, and I'm going to be going with Brass Knuckles.
So attack from the one.
Yep. Okay then.
Bong back style jump punch. Okay, that's an overdrive point. And that's
Yep.
It's 2 overdrive points.
The one on that roll won't count because it's exploded, but okay, so your damage normally 8 in the front row. Then add your strength and luck.
Alright, so that would be 5.
13 minus the remaining armor that it has. Okay, so that's one solid punch. Second strike.
Alright. Second strike coming. 14.
Okay, that's a hit.
Alright, and that's 7 raw damage.
Okay, and then the final blow.
Right. $10.
Okay, that'll hit as well. Do that one big blow at the start and then just unload with 2 faster punches. into the opening that you create.
Yep, that third one is 6 raw damage.
Okay. Cloister.
Right, I'm actually going to use my last potion.
Okay. 8 hit points. This Gargant, you see the Gatling gun on the tail wind up and unleash a shot at Bailey.
Alright.
Can't have someone finish this fight with 0 damage on them. 12 versus your weapon defense.
Oh my god, just.
Okay. That is going to be 10 damage with armor piercing 4.
Ow. Armor piercing 4?
Yeah.
So I'm taking an additional damage. Additional 1 point.
And you won't be taking, you'll just, anything over and above your armor is just gone. So you'll just be taking the full 10 damage.
13?
10.
10?
10 damage. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. It unleashes this barrage of bullets that tear through your armor. Bailey?
I'm shooting it right back. 13.
Okay, that's a hit. Okay, Robert?
One good beating deserves another, so I'm gonna be going with brass knucks again against this thing. So, first hit, 13.
Okay, that's a hit.
Alright, so that is 8 raw damage.
Yep.
So second hit, 9.
That's a miss.
Right? And third hit is also a 9.
Those seconds just clang into metal without making too much of an impact. Celesta?
Right, so I'm going to attack it normally. Okay. 14.
That's it. Okay, and can you describe to me how Celesta is going to dismantle what's left of the Gargant here?
So, with the armor in shreds and seeing that they are completely and utterly desperate, it left an opening that I pretty much just take, not entirely, but just high enough that I plummet straight down, halberd first, right through the core, while I pretty much just stand on top of it.
It crumples underneath you as the light of the core flickers and then finally goes out. The liquid that sort of spews out of it starts to rapidly grow grass and moss and flowers along the remains of this ancient Magitech monstrosity. The flowers that bloom here look a little bit different from the other flowers that are growing here. I think the only one of you that might be able to identify them, other than Mura, would be Bailey with a survival test.
Okay.
Oh,
Robert has survival as well.
Yep, I can make that attempt. So survival, that is vitality and luck. So that'll be 6.
That's an 8 for me.
Don't suppose I could keep the cord that I just impaled as a trophy?
Well, yeah, you get the Gargant's power core as a item.
So that's 10 from me.
Okay. Bailey, you've never seen flowers like this before, but they are ridiculously beautiful. But Ripper, you recognise them. You've seen similar flowers grow maybe around the monastery that you've spent your time in. They are called goddess gifts. They're very rare flowers that tend to only grow in places where elements are particularly strong. Where the monastery you're from, it's probably blue flowers that look a little bit different that are significant to Anuthis, the water goddess, but these ones are kind of earthy browny red colour, and you likely to associate them with the goddess Gaia. Mura practically lets out another excited moo when she sees them and rushes over and picks one and deeply sniffs at it. And is completely enamored by these flowers for a good minute before she turns around and acknowledges that the three of you are pretty winded.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fix these up and I'll gather some of these and some of the other flowers that I have, and we can head back to town.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good idea. I'd rather avoid any further fights if I can help it.
Yeah, same here.
I wonder what this thing is. Perhaps what's left of the scrap metal with her toe. Maybe someone back in town will know.
Can I search the rest of the carcass to see if there's any identifying marks?
Yes.
Alright, that's gonna be a perception check. Oh, for fuck's sake!
If it had any marks, they've been overgrown by the rapid influx of plant life.
Hey, I want you to see an exorcist after the show.
Just roll 20 being roll 20. But with that,
I'd like to say that's the case, but I know better because we have a friend who was worse, regardless of whether or not we were in roll 20.
No, let's put it this way. I normally don't roll this bad. Knocking on all the fucking wood I can reach.
With that,
if it gets worse, blame Sid.
Mura will collect the remains, the flowers that she needs to get. She'll provide you all with a little bit of healing, enough to get you back to town in one piece in case you run into any other monsters on the way back. She'll reward you handsomely with 250 wings each.
Nice.
And if you take the power core that you took from the monster that you fought in the heart of the forest to maybe the engineer on the airship that you came in on, they'll be able to identify it as being a piece of archaeotech, which is technology from before the breaking of the world. And once you give them a description of the thing that you fought, they kind of look shocked, they kind of laugh a little bit as if you're, telling them a tall tale.
Yeah.
And tell you that that's a automaton, those are ancient like Magitech, the Empire used them in its wars of conquest to steal the elemental crystals from various nations before it reached its peak of power. And like, why would it be in a little backwards place like this? But if you tell him about the statues and stuff, then he sort of starts to believe you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was a temple here at some point to one of the goddesses, and it was left over and something disturbed it.
I proceed to tell him that the herbalist that we helped noticed that a skyship landed away from port near the forest, and 2 days before the uptick in monster activity peaked.
A skyship that looked way too bulky to be a standard merchant vessel.
Yeah. Like the airship engineer will ask you to go and speak to some of the locals to see if you can get a better description of the ship. And so the final roll for the game, can people give me a persuasion test, which would be mind plus spirit.
Mind plus
I
spirit.
do not have persuasion.
So that's just a single d8 plus those two
Yeah,
stats?
plus those two. Yep.
8. Although, actually, hold on. Can I bank on Bonbon's adorability to help get folk?
Probably not. Engineers tend to be significantly bullheaded.
No.
But you're asking townspeople, so give me an animal care test instead.
It's agility plus spirit, so it's gonna be a plus 6.
And you've got 3 ranks in it, so you get an extra plus 3.
15.
Okay. Yeah, between Celesta and then like the kids in particular will like give you all the information that you want, Bailey, as long as they get to like pet Bonbon, and then you can tell them about spells while you're at it. They give you a description of an airship that looked like it was mostly made of metal in comparison to the more wooden framed ships that are used by most Skyrealms. And that instead of sails like the one that your ship has, and a crystal powering it at the back, this ship had like, they describe them as being like basket type fabric, but like it'd be like an air balloon type shape, and that they had glowing orbs dotted around them. With this information, the engineer from the airship that you're traveling on will kind of go pale. That's a Archaeotech airship. That's only the remnants of the old Empire use those.
Which brings the question: why a remnant ship would come all the way out here? This is, I'd imagine that this particular island is a little bit out of the way, not full on boonies, but a place where you're essentially on the other side of the borderlands.
Yeah. Maybe they were looking for something in amongst the ruin. The ship's had any repairs done, it's been restocked with enough goods and rations to get us into New Dawn airspace. We can tell the authorities there. They'll maybe send out some faster ships to go and hunt it. Maybe the three of you can even get yourself on board one of those ships and lend a hand. And with that, the one shot is over. That's the end of the adventure. You guys can get on the airship. They'll take you into New Dawn, which is one of the larger sky realms. Itself is also a follow-on from the old Empire, but it's made from individuals who have accepted responsibility for what happened to the world before, and try and uncover ancient artifacts and remnants of the Empire that still believe that their old way of life is the right way and all that sort of stuff. They're the quote-unquote good guys, but not always, in the setting. Yeah, that's the end of our one-shot adventure.
Oh yeah. And I was a little bit worried because we were down one individual, and things looked a little bit. It was a little bit.
Got a little bit hairy in that boss fight at the end.
Yeah, though. I do have to call you out when it comes to that boss fight, because that is the fucking guard scorpion. Do not try and tell me it isn't.
Most definitely is from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. It's like you're not sneaking that past me. Even if I hadn't been writing my own thing for 4 years. But since I end up getting asked this question, I'll bring this up to you. Has anyone had an issue when you've been playtesting this with doing row-based combat? So I've had that thrown at me a few times of people going, I don't know how to just not move.
In the regular playtest groups that I've had, no, because they kind of knew what they were getting into. Like, they knew the inspiration behind the game, so the role-based combat wasn't too much of an issue. It took a session or two for them to kind of realise that if they were describing what they were doing during the turn, they could be free to say things, like, I'm jumping onto the back of this giant monster, or I'm going to run around behind it, and like the movement was really just to emphasize the action, description-wise. When it came to open playtests at UK Games Expo and stuff, some of the players did struggle a little bit with the idea that there wasn't a grid to move around on, but other than that, they found everything else kind of flowed well enough that they didn't. Once they got used to the fact that they didn't have to really think about where they were on the battlefield, that they only really had to think about the direct action that they were taking, then they kind of got used to it. But yeah, some players in the open play test that prefer a more tactical game, they didn't mesh well with role-based combat, and that's kind of to be expected. But I suppose everybody has their own tastes and preferences for it. I think for playing Theatre of the Mind, role-based is actually easier.
Now, one thing I did notice that with my play sheet, I didn't have any skills for Bonbon to be able to use during battle, hence why she kind of just stayed back.
So Bonbon, for the hunter, your animal companion is very much flavor thing. It's more of an extension of the character themselves.
Gotcha.
So if we were taking a little bit more time and you were being a little bit more cinematic with combat, like we had more time to describe and flourish our actions, then you could, as a hunter, you'd be expected to sort of incorporate your animal companion into those descriptions. Like Bailey has the pack tactics passive ability, so Bon's always kind of considered to be either protecting you or helping you on the offense.
Okay.
And that was just...
Yeah, I was just expecting Bon to have some sort of an attack ability that Bailey could order her to do, which is
so there are some hunter abilities that you can take. It just happens that Bailey doesn't have
Gotcha.
those more direct actions, like up the hunter. So it's described on Journey. There's the fetch ability, which isn't an attack. It's you can spend mana, and your animal companion will bring you a consumable that you can use for free. There's a guard action where you can set your animal companion to give you or a companion a bonus to your defenses. There is spot prey, where your companion can actually sort of draw attention to a particular enemy to make them easier for you and your companions to hit. There's another ability where your animal companion can take hits on your behalf. And there's some passive abilities like Go for the Throat, where it increases the amount of damage and stuff that you inflict because your animal companion is more aggressive than it normally would be without the ability. But yeah, your companion's more an extension of the character.
In that regard, it's not far more with what I was doing with companions.
Yeah, it's to
and
limit the amount of bookkeeping.
Yeah, because you and I have seen plenty of cases where a companion-based archetype, said companion is a miniature character sheet unto themselves.
Yeah, like animal. Or animal companions in D&D. Yeah.
Animal companions and or mechanical companions or stuff like that in plenty of games. As tempting as it would be to throw anima in there, there are other matters, though. I do think some of the issues people have with anima are overstated.
Yeah. The Invoker, which is a summoner class, gets an ability that allows them to physically manifest their familiar, and it ends up becoming a character in their own, but it's not something that the Invoker class needs to take. It's an optional ability, and maybe down the line the Hunter will get something like that for their animal companion, but ultimately it was to kind of so players didn't need to bookkeep two character sheets. Your companion's flavor, a lot of your abilities kind of themed around having your companion. The latter one where it can take a hit for you, if it's a knockout blow, then it actually limits the abilities that you can use. So depending how much of an impact you want your animal companion to be, the Hunter is very much up to how you want to roleplay the character and the abilities you've chosen. Bailey, I avoided some of the more direct command abilities with Bailey as a pre-gen because for convention games and stuff like that, I didn't want to give players who'd maybe never played anything other than D&D, or in the case of Games Expo, a few of the people who played in the open play test hadn't actually played the role-playing game before, so Bailey's more passive abilities around her companion made her a little bit easier for people to pick up and play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can certainly get that, and I know. Obviously, the Ashcan version of Skies Above is still available, and Are you planning on having the full PDF release out by the end of the year, or is it going to be early next year?
At the moment, it's looking, yeah, it'll either be the end of December or early January that the PDF comes out. Some things have changed from the Ashcan version. The Ashcan was very much a work in progress. Rough draft, things like Fortune and Misfortune aren't in the Ashcan version, but they are in the final version of the game. Certain abilities work differently or have been replaced or changed from the Ashcan compared to the final version as well. So the Ashcan's good. It gives you a rough idea what you're getting into, but like a lot of the rules by the time the final PDF comes out will be changed a lot or a little, depending. But the game it's been fully tested at this point. Like everything's been written, the book's laid out. It's pretty much just getting the artwork in there at this point, and then it's good to go out as a PDF, and it'll be getting sent for a test print as well.
Oh yeah, and I know that when it comes to the printed version, that's obviously going to be mid next year at the earliest, just because of all the moving parts involved.
Maybe probably about springtime next year. Is when I'm aiming to have it out for.
I can certainly get that. But with that said, I do want to thank you, Andy, for taking the time out of your schedule to come all the way to the monastery once again. I'm fairly certain this will not be the last visit you have here. And while the regular Cloister is still on a semi hiatus up until 2026, there are plans going forward to make a return. Now that I have a certain set of tools that I was missing for the longest time, but there will be a few shifting about when the time comes. So keep an eye out for that, everyone. And of course, stay tuned tomorrow for the return of the Record of Swordforged Worlds, because we are getting very close to wrapping up the lore end of things for the 1.0 era. In fact, we're finally talking about Lodos, so some people have no excuse, and one person better show up, even if he's going to show up late, because he always shows up late. That would be Brother Doku.
Yep.
The man who is eternally late, fig, and probably drinking. And of course, there were plenty more surprises along the way, including possibly me being in the interview hot seat for Legend Edition now that that thing is fully out, and my socials have been blowing up because I sent the thing out to all of my contacts. I have 774 contacts in my Rolodex. Oh.
Gonna be busy.
You're gonna be very busy.
Yeah, I knew what I was getting into when I did that. And I appreciate those who have put the word out. I will probably put in a bot that has the itch link on my Twitch sometime in the future, just not doing it yet. But all of those things and more are going to be revealed in due time on the open bar of the internet. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.
Bonbon's still best girl.
Yes, she is.
Bonbon is best girl.
Alright. Later.
Bye bye.